Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail for the third time, a federal judge saying that the government had proven by clear and convincing evidence that there were no conditions of release that would ensure the safety of the community.
I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it, it's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
The courtroom drama surrounding Jay-Z has taken a shocking and unexpected turn, leaving everyone, from fans to critics, completely stunned. In what seemed like an uphill battle against some of the most damaging allegations of his career, the rap mogul has walked away acquitted. But how did this happen? How did Jay-Z, a man at the center of such explosive claims, manage to clear his name? And what's this talk about him striking a secret deal with the FBI to expose deeper secrets about his longtime friend and collaborator, Sean Diddy Combs? Buckle up, because this story is more twisted than anyone could have predicted.
It's obviously getting a whole new wave of attention and more focused attention on this victim. So I think it's going to be tied to the media cycle, if I had to guess, and how these rulings continue. And they have this celebrity name that is sort of waiting to take over the headlines when they choose to release it. So I think it will be added, but it's going to be a strategic time.
Let's start with the headlines. Jay-Z's acquittal. For weeks, the public had been captivated by the story of a lawsuit that claimed he was involved in unimaginable actions at a party more than 2 decades ago. The plaintiff, an anonymous woman operating under the pseudonym Jane Doe, had come forward with a narrative that grabbed attention around the globe. It wasn't just the accusations themselves. It was the way they were tied to a broader scandal involving Diddy and a network of alleged misconduct. The case exploded into the headlines, dragging Jay-Z into a legal nightmare that threatened to tarnish his reputation forever. But just when it seemed like all hope was lost, an unexpected twist emerged: the FBI.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Behind the scenes, whispers of a federal operation began to surface. Rumors swirled that the lawsuit wasn't just a standalone case, but part of a much larger investigation targeting Diddy and a potential web of conspirators. And here's where it gets juicy. Jay-Z, the man who had publicly denied every accusation with unwavering confidence, was reportedly approached by federal agents with an offer he couldn't refuse. According to insiders, the FBI saw him as the key to cracking open a case that extended far beyond the allegations made by Jane Doe. They needed information, and they believed Jay-Z had it. This is where things take a dramatic turn. Sources close to the situation claim that federal authorities presented Jay-Z with a choice: continue fighting the lawsuit on his own, risking devastating public fallout, or cooperate with their investigation in exchange for immunity. It was a high-stakes gamble, and Jay-Z's team wasted no time weighing their options. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, known for his aggressive courtroom tactics, reportedly held tense negotiations with federal agents, hammering out the details of what would become one of the most talked about deals in recent history.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
As part of the alleged arrangement, Jay-Z agreed to provide information about Diddy and his inner circle. What kind of information? That's where things get murky. Some speculate that it included details about the parties that have become infamous in the wake of the allegations against Diddy, events described as exclusive gatherings for A-listers but rumored to hide darker activities behind closed doors. Others suggest the deal goes even deeper, potentially involving financial records, private communications, and connections to other high-profile figures. Whatever the specifics, one thing is clear: Jay-Z's cooperation was seen as a game-changer for the FBI's investigation.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
But let's not forget the public reaction to all of this. When news of Jay-Z's acquittal broke, it sent shockwaves through social media and the entertainment world. Fans celebrated, calling it a victory for a man they believe has been unfairly targeted. Others weren't so convinced. Critics pointed to the timing of the acquittal, noting how quickly the case seemed to unravel after the FBI reportedly got involved. Was this really a case of justice being served, or had Jay-Z managed to outmaneuver the system by leveraging his influence and resources? The debate rages on, with no clear answers in sight.
Jay-Z got his put by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Solange.
Solange. You gotta have the feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Adding fuel to the fire are the statements made by those involved in the case. Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Buzbee, has been vocal in his criticism of Jay-Z throughout the legal proceedings, accusing him of using aggressive tactics to discredit his client. But after the acquittal, Buzbee's tone shifted. Instead of focusing solely on Jay-Z, he turned his attention to the broader implications of the FBI's involvement, suggesting that the lawsuit had become a pawn in a much larger game. This isn't just about one man, Buzbee reportedly told reporters. This is about holding everyone accountable, no matter how powerful they are. And then there's Diddy, whose legal troubles seem to be mounting by the day. Unlike Jay-Z, he hasn't been able to escape the spotlight, with multiple lawsuits and criminal charges painting a grim picture of his alleged actions. Insiders claim that Diddy is furious about Jay-Z's reported deal with the FBI, seeing it as a betrayal of their decades-long friendship. The two men, once hailed as hip-hop royalty, now find themselves on opposite sides of a legal battle that could reshape the industry forever.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
But what about Jay-Z's side of the story? Throughout the ordeal, he has maintained his innocence, calling the allegations against him utterly false and accusing Buzbee of orchestrating a smear campaign. In a statement released after his acquittal, Jay-Z didn't hold back. These claims were not only baseless, but part of a coordinated effort to tarnish my name and legacy, he said. I've spent my entire career building something that stands for integrity and excellence, and I will not allow anyone to take that away from me. At the same time, Jay-Z has been careful not to comment on the rumors surrounding his cooperation with the FBI. His legal team has neither confirmed nor denied the reports, leaving the public to speculate about what really happened behind closed doors. Some see his silence as an admission of sorts, while others believe it's a strategic move to keep the focus on his innocence rather than the details of the alleged deal. As the dust begins to settle, questions linger about what this means for the broader investigation. If Jay-Z truly did strike a deal with federal agents, what does that say about the scope of their case against Diddy? And how deep does this rabbit hole go? For now, the answers remain elusive, but one thing is certain, this is far from over. The FBI's involvement has opened a Pandora's box of speculation, and the fallout could have far-reaching consequences for everyone involved.
It's interesting because, obviously this civil suit was coming for a while.
Yep.
And there was some talk between Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Buzbee and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
And let's not forget the timeline of events leading up to this point, which only adds to the intrigue. It all started with Jane Doe's initial lawsuit, filed in October, which named Diddy as the primary defendant. For weeks, the case drew attention but seemed to be focused solely on Diddy's alleged actions. Then, in December, the lawsuit was amended to include Jay-Z, a move that took everyone by surprise. From there, things escalated quickly. Jay-Z's legal team responded with a flurry of motions, challenging everything from the credibility of the plaintiff to the jurisdiction of the court. Meanwhile, rumors of the FBI's involvement began to circulate, adding a new layer of complexity to an already convoluted case.
Negotiating that, I spoke to some lawyers that were involved, and I was like, even if the accusations are false, there's two ways to go about these cases. Either one, you do the economic analysis, right? What is this going to cost me? Where is it going? How much am I going to lose? All these different things, even if it's false, right? How much are the attorneys going to cost me?
By the time the acquittal was announced, the narrative had shifted dramatically. What started as a lawsuit against two high-profile figures had become a story about federal investigations, secret deals, and the unraveling of a decades-long friendship. It's a saga that feels more like a Hollywood thriller than a real-life legal battle, and it's no wonder the public can't look away. The fallout from Jay-Z's unexpected acquittal is sending shockwaves through Hollywood and the music industry, but the story doesn't end there. If anything, this is where it gets even messier. While Jay-Z walked away from the courtroom with his name cleared, at least legally, the public is split. Was he truly innocent, or did he just play his cards better than anyone else? People are questioning whether justice was served or if this was another case of a powerful celebrity leveraging his influence to avoid accountability. And then there's the bigger issue. What happens to the victims, the insiders, and even Jay-Z's legacy now that this chapter has seemingly closed? Let's dive deeper into the aftermath, the backlash, and how this entire scandal has unraveled relationships and reputations.
Do it. A lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Buzbee's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Buzbee's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going going to look at multiple other people. We're going to do all this because he wants to put that fear in.
First, let's talk about the victims and the insiders close to this case. Jane Doe, the woman whose allegations sparked the entire lawsuit, has remained anonymous, but that hasn't stopped her from speaking out. In an interview following Jay-Z's acquittal, she doubled down her claims, saying she feels betrayed by the justice system. According to her, the dismissal of the case wasn't about the lack of evidence, but rather the immense power and resources Jay-Z's team brought to the table. How can you fight against someone who has the entire world in their corner? She reportedly told a journalist. Her lawyer, Tony Busby, echoed these sentiments, claiming that Jay-Z's legal team used every trick in the book to discredit and silence his client. This is a classic example of the rich and powerful bending the rules in their favor, Busby said. It's not justice, it's strategy. But here's where things get even more complicated. Rumors are swirling that not everyone on Jay-Z's side is as confident about his innocence as he is. Anonymous sources close to the trial have hinted that some of his own associates felt uneasy about how aggressively his team attacked Jane Doe's credibility. One insider reportedly said, Jay's camp didn't just defend him. They went on the offensive. It wasn't about the truth. It was about winning. And that's left a sour taste in the mouths of many who are watching this unfold. Questions surrounding Jay-Z's strained friendship with Diddy suggest their bond may now be irreparable. Once celebrated as a powerful duo in hip-hop, business, and philanthropy, their collaboration on music, mutual support, and joint charitable efforts painted a picture of unity. However, their relationship seems to have reached its breaking point. Insiders claim Diddy feels deeply betrayed by Jay-Z's alleged deal with the FBI, accusing him of prioritizing self-preservation over loyalty. Sources close to Diddy describe his frustration, noting that their brotherly bond faltered when Jay-Z acted to protect himself.
He is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, you know, it is scary because you think, you know, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
Jay-Z's supporters argue he had no alternative, citing the severity of the allegations against Diddy and the inevitability of the FBI's investigation uncovering the truth. Legal analysts emphasize that Jay-Z's actions were rooted in survival rather than betrayal, portraying them as a pragmatic choice anyone in his position might make. Despite this, speculation continues to swirl about Diddy's response. Rumors suggest his team may retaliate with a legal and public relations offensive, potentially leaking damaging information about Jay-Z's past and escalating the conflict into a full-blown feud.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing. Or, you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
And speaking of Jay-Z's past, it's worth revisiting some of the controversies that have haunted him over the years. While he's often painted as a self-made success story, a kid from Brooklyn who rose above his circumstances to become a billionaire, his journey hasn't been without its dark moments. Take, for example, his infamous arrest in 1999 for allegedly stabbing a record executive during a nightclub altercation. While he ultimately pleaded guilty to a lesser charge and avoided jail time, the incident raised questions about his temper and his willingness to resort to violence. Critics argue that this wasn't an isolated incident, but rather part of a pattern of behavior that's been carefully covered up over the years. Then there are the accusations of infidelity that have plagued his marriage to Beyonce. While the couple has largely presented a united front, rumors of Jay-Z's unfaithfulness reached a boiling point with the release of Beyonce's album, Lemonade, which many interpreted as a thinly veiled account of their marital struggles. Though the two have since reconciled and even addressed the issue in their music, some believe that the cracks in their relationship are far from healed. And now, with this latest scandal, people are wondering how much more strain their marriage can take. Beyonce has remained publicly supportive of her husband, but insiders claim that she's privately furious about the damage this has done to their family's reputation.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
But perhaps the most damning criticism of Jay-Z is the perception that he's a master manipulator, someone who's always 10 steps ahead, using his intelligence and influence to outmaneuver his enemies. Some argue that this is exactly how he's managed to maintain his empire despite the many controversies that have surrounded him. Jay-Z isn't just a businessman, he's a strategist, said one industry expert. He knows how to play the game better than anyone else, and that's why he's still standing while others have fallen. But not everyone sees this as a compliment. To his critics, this cunning approach is just another way of saying that he's willing to do whatever it takes to protect himself, even if it means sacrificing others in the process.
He was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces.
This brings the focus back to the victims and their advocates, who view Jay-Z's acquittal as a setback for accountability in the entertainment industry. In recent years, a growing movement has sought to hold powerful individuals responsible for their actions, with numerous high-profile cases resulting in convictions and settlements. However, critics argue that this case delivers the opposite message. Wealth and fame can provide an escape from consequences. Advocacy groups emphasize that the issue extends beyond Jay-Z, highlighting a systemic problem that enables influential figures to remain untouched while survivors are left to deal with the aftermath. As for what happens next, the future is uncertain. While Jay-Z may have cleared his name for now, the court of public opinion is far less forgiving. Social media is flooded with debates about his innocence, with some fans fiercely defending him and others calling for boycotts of his music and business ventures. And with Diddy's legal battle still unfolding, there's a sense that this story is far from over. Some speculate that Jay-Z's alleged cooperation with the FBI could lead to even more revelations about the dark underbelly of the entertainment industry. Others believe that the scandal will quietly fade away, leaving behind only whispers and unanswered questions.
And that's not the first time we've seen this tactic, and the last time it actually worked.
One thing is clear. The fallout from this case has changed the landscape of hip-hop and celebrity culture. It's forced people to confront uncomfortable truths about the power dynamics that play in the industry and the lengths to which some will go to protect their empires. And while Jay-Z may have emerged victorious in the courtroom, his reputation has taken a hit that even his most loyal fans can't ignore. Will he be able to rebuild his image and move forward? Or will this scandal leave a permanent stain on his legacy? Share your insights and let the discussion begin. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and intrigue. Goodbye for now.